Well, maybe we'll get things kicked off here. So, welcome everybody. Happy last Thursday of the month. If you haven't heard my voice before, my name is Janelle. I'm the field marketing advisor for Imperial Oil. So I support, all of you great folks and work with a lot of different people on a lot of different projects. That's me on the right-hand side there. The other voice you've probably heard talking about her treats in her office is Alexa Kanchuk, and she is the
Hi.
marketing coordinator. Hi, at Maritime Fuels, and we've been working with her on this presentation today a little bit as Maritime Fuels has seen a lot of success in their digital online presence, and Alexa has been a big part of that. So wanted to bring Alexa into the conversation to help give that sort of outside perspective of how you can enable some of this content for your business and your specific territory. So with that, I know I'm in a loud space, so I'm going to go on mute, but I'm definitely here. I'm in the chat, so feel free to use that chat box too to ask questions and provide any comments and things like that. But otherwise, I'm going to hand it on over to Sophie and Alexa to get us kicked off.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I'm Sophie Andreu, and I have the pleasure of working with you all, I think since 2015 maybe. So today we're going to be doing some Google My Business, and I had the delight of working with Janelle and Alexa to talk about how we wanted to present this. So we're doing it a little bit different today. We're going to stop and ask questions all the way through. And then we've gotten input from Alexa as to how specifically what we're talking about today has helped their company. And she's going to talk about that towards the end. Okay. And we're going to try and finish our presentation part at a quarter to 12 or in 40 in at the wherever you happen to be Eastern time, though, a quarter to 12. And then we're going to ask everyone if they have any questions they'd like to share. But in the meantime, we are going to ask questions along the way as well. Okay. So Alexa, thank you. Did you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Um, I'm the marketing coordinator at Maritime Fuels, and I specialize in digital marketing, and I'm just happy to teach everyone how powerful digital marketing is and how it can be great for your business and drive conversions and lead to more sales.
Lead to more sales, and that's what it's all about. Everything we talk about is how your individual team can leverage the power of digital marketing for more sales. So what we wanted to do was to get a reseller, and in this case we have our friend from Maritime, and she is going to and she told me I'm supposed to eat most of my words if I want to speak like a person from Nova Scotia. So I will try to do that, or my letters rather, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's go forward and whoops, wrong one. Okay, I will just shrink that, and then we're here from current slide. So today is about Google My Business. So I have a question for all of you. Why are Google listings important? So if you wouldn't mind going to your chat and listing why you think Google listings are important. So what do you think? Why do you think Google listings are important? Um, so I'm going to want to end at a quarter two because everyone uses Google. Scott, you're absolutely right. One of the five Scotts who are online right now, Scott Klein, thank you for replying. So as many of you know, we have social media, which causes people how they think about you. Do they trust you? Do they subliminally trust your message? And will they remember you? Then they go to Google to actually search for something. And you need to make sure that they find you on Google. Anyone else has another reason why Google listing, specifically your listing, why Google listing is important? Yes, it helps people find your business, helps you climb through the ranks on Google. You're absolutely right. So what,
Yay, Raina!
Raina? So what it does is does obviously we know Raina. Yes, and absolutely, Marie, you're absolutely right. Nobody looks past the first page on Google. So thank you so much. You're absolutely right. So it helps people find it helps increase your SEO, which means you're found higher and higher on the Google search results. And like Marie is saying, that no one searches past the first page. And what happens with your Google listing, and I'm going to go back to uh, the slides now. We're on slide number 3. Google listings are important because it's critically to get you found, critical for your reputation management. Google has something called reviews. People need to know what others are thinking of you before they'll trust you. So reputation management, we're going to talk specifically about that and how your Google listing can help you with your reputation management. The other one, and two of you talked about that, three of you actually, that the Google listings are free, but your results are above the fold, meaning on the first page of results. Right now, the only thing you're going to find above the fold when someone is searching for when somebody is actually searching for keywords are ads. So if you've paid for a Google ad or your Google listing, if you've maintained your Google listing and the keywords and services are in it that they're looking for, it will also be on that first page. Otherwise, people have to scroll down to find the organic search results. Um, so you want to make sure that your Google listing, you follow the optimization that we're going to talk about, and Alexa's going to help us really drill it home as to how she's optimized it for her company. So it's something you'll be able to follow as well. And then the Google listings will help you with voice searches. If you recall, in our 2020 trends, we were talking about voice searching being very prominent this year. So your Google listing will help you ensure that you ask Google the questions that you want so that your voice searches, when someone says those magic words that I can't say because my guy behind me, Google, will answer, but you say HEY, Google, where is the closest blank? If you are that blank and you have optimized your Google listing appropriately, you'll come up. So that's why it's important. So this is what we mean by the above the fold. I'm on page 4. So someone is turning their pages very closely to their microphone, and we hear that very loudly.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, that was me.
okay. So
I
just
didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
I thought I'd share with you that. Okay, so that's okay. That's Alexa, and I can say, "Hey Alexa, are you turning your pages?" So I'll know to do that. So here I said, fuel resellers in Dartmouth. And I was supposed to say Dartmouth, I think, Nova Scotia, and it's corrected the spelling for me. Oh, I see what it said. No, I meant resellers, so I didn't have it corrected. So that's good. And what comes up on my Google results are the map and these elements, and then our maritime fuels friends, which is why Alexa is on the line. She'll be talking about how is it that she comes up like this? How is it she comes up first? Well, she's been optimizing her Google listing, and she's going to talk to you about this. And this is what we mean by above the fold. The Google listings come up first. If there were ads, Google ads in that were using these keywords, they would come up next to it on the left, and your Google listings would come up on the right. So you're still above the fold. So very important. So another question to you. We would like everyone to answer this in the chat again. What are the elements of your Google listing? So we're on page 5. What are the elements? Don't go ahead to page 6. Those of you that are that have the PowerPoint, which is probably all of you. So which means you should all be able to answer. So what are the elements of your Google listing? So why are we asking this question? These are things that we're going to ask you to think about, things you can add to your Google listing. Janelle, absolutely correct. Reviews. So reviews are critical. This is what we mean when we talk about managing your reputation. You want to encourage reviews and reply to reviews. And we actually had I think a whole, yes, we did. We had a whole webinar on how to manage your reviews, whether they were on Facebook and other elements and on Google. So those elements still apply, but we're going to review them for you, and we're going to talk to Alexa a little bit as to how she manages her reviews as well. So anything else? It's not all just reviews. What else is on the Google listing? Any of the Scots? Okay, there we go. Business information, for example, your location, your hours, and that's really critical. Thank you. So the Google listing allows you to put your hours. And say you are closed on special days. You're always closed on Christmas. You're always closed on Family Day. You're always closed on Easter. I'm making these up now. You can add those, and it just updates it for you. So it'll tell people if they're looking for you. You come up in the search results, and it'll say closed today, or it'll say opening in an hour, or it'll say closing at 6 p.m. and then they click on the down arrow and it'll show them when every day of the week. Photos, you're right. So photos are huge. The photos allow people to understand the kind of services you offer, but there are different places you can add photos. You can add photos in your Google listing, and it's subdivided into interior photos if you have an area where you want them to, hey, this is what it looks like when you come inside our office. Or they have team photos, which is excellent. Oh, and the team photos, people love your service people, as you know. So you want to have pictures of your service folks in that. And then you have pictures of your products, and you can have, and that's excellent. Of course, you have identity pictures, which is your logo, and you have cover pictures, which are probably your trucks with the logos on them. You have to decide which. And like Scott said, your locations. There are one of the things we're not talking about in this presentation, but it might be something that I keep on turning myself down. I realize I've got my knee on my volume control. I can just turn myself back up again. Sorry about that. So what Scott's talking about is on Google, you have a map, and if you have several locations, you can indicate which locations your Google listings manage. So that's another element of your Google listing. You can have a main listing. You might have some locations where you don't want them on the map, so those locations might look different to your organization because you don't want people physically going there, so you can decide which locations are on there. So let's go back to the presentation. Thank you. From current slide, what are their elements? Company name, your map, your website, so link back to your site, your address, your phone, your hours, like everyone was saying, which is excellent. So people can just click on the Google listing and find a map to your location. People can click on the listing and just call you directly, which is fabulous. People can look at which areas you service. So if you don't indicate which cities you service in, and somebody is looking for your keywords or your products in your city, you may not come up. So you want to fill in the service areas and your description, products and services, photos and videos. You can upload for free everything that we just talked about: your name, your map, your products and services, your photos and videos. 360 videos, if you wanted to augment the 360 videos, pun intended, augmented reality, get it? Come on, somebody must have got it. I thought it was funny. But anyways, so your 360 videos, if you probably have one that goes outside that Google put in there. But if you hired someone, that's where you need to hire someone who has access to the Google listing, and they can create a 360 video that's better if you wanted one with more detail of your outside, and if you wanted one maybe of your main office, you can do that. If you were retail, we would spend a lot more time on the 360 video, but the majority of you guys aren't retail, so we're not going to spend too much time on the 360. Reviews, that's managing your reputation. Those are huge. Questions and answers. There is actually right under the reviews, there's a place that you can add questions and answers to your Google review. That's what drives the voice search component. So you need to optimize your questions and reviews. And then you have, let's let's get rid of this. Then you have your direct message. You can right on your cell, and Alexa is going to talk about that as to how she manages her Google listing, and she's going to talk about the fact that she has the app on her cell. So you can have it where the person in your company who answers the phone, you may decide that they should also be using text messaging through your Google listing to reply to clients. So you can have that set up through direct messaging on your Google listing right to their phone. And to me, of course, as many of you know me, I'm a geek and I love stats. So your Google listing has very strong um, stats. It can tell you exactly how many times your search results came up on the map or on the list, how many times people clicked on call, how many times people clicked on the map, and what keywords they used to find you. So very powerful information. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to make sure that you've claimed your Google listing. And I'm pretty sure almost all of you have claimed your Google listing. So what I could do, and Janelle, I'm about to, for just my own video tutorials, update how to claim your Google listing. We'll show you at a high level, but if it's something you haven't claimed yet, and you're going to want to look at that video. And what we'll do as well is another video on how to claim multiple location Google listings. Okay, and so your Google listing, use the Gmail account. Don't forget, if you're going to claim your Google listing, use the Gmail account that is linked to your company. So I always suggest you create a Gmail account that you're going to manage your Google Analytics with, that you're going to manage your YouTube. You're going to manage maybe your Google Ads if you are doing Google Ads, and have that same Gmail account be the one that you claim your Google listing. It's a beautiful thing when you do it that way. That way, when you have a communications manager, you're able to give them that full Gmail account when they start managing all of your online properties, including your Google listing. If you ever sell your business, you're able to sell your business with, hey, this is the Gmail account that manages our very important Google properties. So when you are going to claim it, you're going to open it on your computer, look for it on the Google map, search for it in the search bar. There's a few other techniques that will show you. There's also Google My Business. You can search for it there, and you'll be able to see if it says, are you the business owner or manage this listing? It means that you can click on that and claim it. And then there is a few steps that you go through to actually get the verification code. So here I'm looking for NX Fuels, and it comes up with their all of their different multiple locations. And I imagine they have some locations that are their head office location, and I know they've already claimed it, but I'm using this example as a location which happens to be in a location that they may or may not have claimed, but it says right here, manage this listing. So if they clicked on that, then what they're able to do is they would click on that and the code would be sent to them automatically to that phone number that was on this listing already. So we're on page 9, and the code that comes through will end up being what they put in, and they would be able to manage this location through that code that comes in. And the code comes in right away, so someone has to be there to answer it. But like I said, we'll have another one that talks about how to claim it, because there's a lot we want to talk about on how to optimize it. Again, another way you can get your Google listing, if perhaps you don't have a phone number, perhaps you've taken it over by someone and the phone number that is there is incorrect. What you're able to do, or it's a new location, you're able to ask them to send you a mail, actually a physical piece of mail, and you'll get that in the mail. It'll be from Google My Business, and it'll be in an envelope, and when you open it, this is what you'll see. You'll see a verification code that you can go back and add and now manage your listing. So I'm on slide 11 now. When you've actually claimed your Google business and you log back into your Gmail account that you were logged in when you first wanted to claim it, what'll happen is you click on these little dots up here, And what comes up are all your Google apps. And one of the new apps you'll see there is this little house that says My Business. And that little house is how you access your Google listing. And once you've done that, what you can do is ask it to add that app to the cell phone that is also um, directed or linked to that Gmail account, and you'll have that same app on your cell phone, and that's where you would be able to manage and add photos and answer your notifications. So now I'm on page 12. So the question is, remember we were talking about reviews and why they're important? They're important because they say that 80% of your target clients are going to look at least 10 different reviews of you, whether it's on Google or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, but they're going to try and find 10 different second opinions as to what you're all about. This is why your reviews are important. So do you have any tips? I'm going to go back to the chat now. Do you have any tips for dealing with these reviews? There you go. Marie, thank you. Thank the positive ones, address the negative ones, and invite them to PM. She has hit it on the head. She's nailed it. Congratulations. If I had chocolates, I would be giving you a chocolate right now. But you've totally nailed it. What you want to do is be nice. Don't get personal. Keep it short and sweet. Thank your reviewers, as you said right off the bat. Be friendly, not a salesperson. Don't be too friendly, but you're not selling at this point. You're sticking to the facts. And one of the things that I like to talk about is I'm just going to ask you generally, do you think you can I'm going to go back to this. So I'm on page 13. So one of the things that I like to do, and I have a slide on it coming up, but it makes sense if I speak to it now. One of the things that I like to do is I like to remind people that Google is going to present it not in any order as to here's the best review to the worst review to the best review, or it's not even presenting the reviews by date. It's presenting it by the ones you've spent the most time with. So make sure you spend more time on the positive reviews. If they're saying we really loved your staff, they were very effective, they were able to manage this multi-level presentation for us or multi-level implementation. So then you reply saying, thank you very much. We pride ourselves. Yes, our team lead was so and so. He or she is excellent at what she does. She's worked with us for 30 years. Our team really enjoyed work, like whatever. So you're going to embellish on it. And then you might even say, here's a link for more information about a new product we have coming out, but make sure it's not too salesy. For the negative one, you're going to keep it short and you say, thank you very much for contacting us. So you want to thank them. Please email me or phone me and give them a link to take it offline, just like Marie said, which is smart. So, but what you always want to do is keep a positive review that you haven't answered in your back pocket in case you get a negative review. So then you deal with the negative review, as we said, and then deal with the positive one after it in a very long, lengthy way. That way you always have a positive one that's overshadowing the little negative one, okay? So can you remove the negative review? What do you think? Do you think you can actually remove the negative reviews? Back to our chat. Do you think you can review professionally? Don't pick a fight. Absolutely, Scott. Don't pick a fight. Do not get personal. Don't let regardless how sometimes those reviews just are not fair, just don't pick a fight. Absolutely correct. So does anyone think, has anyone been able to remove negative reviews on Google? I haven't tried. So can you remove them? You can't actually go in and remove a negative review, unfortunately, but you can flag it for removal. So what you're able to do is if someone's being a bully, if someone is using foul language, I have had those ones removed, but I've had to flag them and they'll remove them. If someone is just really unhappy with your services or product or team member, and they're not being belligerent, you can't remove it. You can try, I always try, but they won't remove those. So what you do is you go next to the review, there's these dots, you click on those, and then you click as flag as inappropriate, and it might come up and ask you what's inappropriate, and then they're going to deal with it. And they may remove it, and I have had success with them removing it, but it's only been when there's been foul language, or it has nothing to do with my products and services, or it has or they're being bullies. So they will review it, but generally they won't. So this is what I was sharing with you earlier on page 17, a tip for dealing with negative reviews. I've already talked about it, or just all reviews. Always keep one positive one in case you get a negative one. If you get a negative one, reply with it short, take it offline, give them a link or a number to call, and then answer the positive one with longer. Google will present the one that you've had more activity with. And so you may ask, if I get a review, how will I know? So everything that, when you've claimed that Google business, it gives you, I mean, you've claimed it with a Gmail account, I hope, or you've claimed it with an account that's focused on all your Google products. It will send that Gmail account or that email account notifications. So here it says my notifications that if I have a new review, all the reviews, it says here, Leslie left a review. This is one of my clients, Kawartha TV and Stereo. And then it'll send notifications there. If someone's asked a question, the same email, it'll send a notification there as well. Okay, so this is one of the things that you can do is, if you wanted to, when you click on that little house, when you've claimed your Google listing, you can go onto your Google Apps and you see the little house. You click on that, or you click on the house on your cell phone. You come up with all of these elements: posting to your Google listing, information about your Google listing, where you put in all those elements we talked about, your address and everything, insights, which we're going to show you in a little bit, and reviews. This is where you click on this if you want to come in directly to deal with all your reviews. And that's what I generally do, is I'll go in on a weekly basis to work through all the reviews on our clients. And then the messaging, you can click on this messaging and you can here view your messages on the app. So you can have the messages actually go to your cell phone if that's what you'd like. And so I would install it from Google Play or from the App Store, depending on what type of phone you have. So that's how you get the messaging. You can add photos here as well on the side, products and services. So you can add all those things here. I do not think you need to create a website. A website is, I have clients create websites on their Google listing if they don't already have a website. Okay, so this is what happens if you end up clicking on the messaging on page 20. It shows that Google My Business connects with your customers, and connect with your customers will be installed on your device. So getting notifications and the Google app on my device, you click on OK, and it tells you, then it comes up with a list of which devices is connected, and you can add a device, or if you're already connected, yours will come up and you choose it. Okay, and this is how easy it is. If you go on the side here and click on reviews on page 19, and then you're on page 21 and you see all your reviews and you're thinking, oh, I haven't dealt with this one yet. You click on reply, the one that's Peter's, and you're able to reply and give them a little bit more information so that you're making it so you're helping them out. Okay, so the planning your Google listing. Did you know that you can post to your Google listing on page 22? So what I do is, when I do my monthly calendar, I always look at which type of post makes sense on a Google listing. And that's something Alexa is going to talk to you about, which type of posts make sense for your industry on a Google listing. Okay, so once a week. Why do we post once a week? Because anything you've posted in the last week on your Google listing will, for free, show up on the map when someone is searching for your keywords. So instead of having to pay a few $1,000s for your Google ads, you can use your Google listing and put the information you want them to see on your Google listing. We're finding that with a lot of our clients that we spend a few $1,000s a month on Google ads. we're finding that the Google listing is consistently outperforming for free their Google ads. And what all we're doing is putting a post on the Google listing. Very powerful. So you want to make sure that before you start, you look at your Google listing and take a step back and say, are my products and services all listed? Okay. Is my description there? Okay. Is my service areas there? Okay. Do I have photos that represent our company? Okay. And do I need a 360 tour? So you may want to come back to this and make sure you've optimized your Google listing, and then think about once a week what I might post. Okay, so and like I said, the weekly posts are ideal. I look at my calendar, and I kept on saying just photos, and I didn't mean that. On the weekly posts, when you go to post on your Google listing, you find your My Business, you click into it on page 23, you find your Google listing. You click on it. On the far left, if you remember, there was somewhere there that said posts. You click on posts, and it gives you the opportunity to either just upload a update like you would on Facebook. It's the exact same way. Or upload a video. So it could be a photo, could be a video, or you can upload a product with a price or a price range, which I really recommend, because the products then also show up on the map results. It's excellent. And you can add an event. If you are having a community event, one of the things I suggest you do is add it to your Google listing, because then it comes up with what events are happening around town on your Google listing as well as on Google search results. Very powerful. So moving forward to 24, I am going to now, wait, am I handing, no, I'm not handing it over just yet. I'm almost handing it over to Alexa. So this is just showing you again, if I look for Maritime Fuels directly, their listing comes up on the left here, as well as on the Google search results. And she'll get into that in more detail. This is the elements of the Google listing. As I mentioned, you click on home. I love their actual analytics. It will show you how many views your Google listing has had in the last month or the last week, depending what you've asked it to show you, how many searches, and the activity. It's very powerful, and our latest post. So this shows, remember how I was saying you can put a post, that's how the post will look to the public. And then what happens is I'm going to just continue. I'm on page 26. I'm going to continue page 27. This shows you what the photos look like. I'm going to continue to page 28. This shows you what your Google listings look like. I already showed you this. I'm on page 29. One of the things I haven't showed you yet is one of the things I really like about your Google listing is it shows you on page 29 your total results. This is for the last 3 months, the last quarter, and it shows you that a lot of them were by discovery. This blue one is by discovery, which means it's your keywords. So your keywords helped your Google listing get found. Direct means that they put in your direct name, and and brand means that they use some of your brand content. So it's very powerful. Then as you scroll down on the analytics, it shows you exactly the listing, how many times your listing showed up as a list or on the map, and it shows you exactly how many people on page 30 clicked from your listing to your website, looked for directions, or called you. So as you can see, a lot of information. Okay, so at this point, I would like to hand it over to Alexa. So you should be on page 31. And Alexa, let me know when you'd like me to move to the next page.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we've got you.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to tell everyone and share how easy getting higher in Google is, and this is what I do for my company. So I post on Google My Business every week, and my posts are usually about general product knowledge or brand awareness, but depending on what your business exactly is, you can do special offers or events, like Sofie said, and the posts last about a week until they expire, but I use the Google My Business app, so I get a notification on my phone, And so it tells me right there when I have to, set it up again and do it again. So in each of my posts, I use keywords to optimize the post and optimize my listing. So in what I mean by that is I use specific search terms that an individual would use while searching for my company. And these terms can be found within the insights in my Google listing. So if you just go to the insights page of the Google listing, you can see them all there. And you never want to stuff your Google listing or like the post that you do in your Google listing full of keywords. So you don't want to sound robotic. You want to make it sound good for your customers. And I also have one primary listing, and that's where I do all my posting. And so I have like all my bulk plants, and those are my secondary listings. Um, so I only post on the primary listing, but I keep all the information up to date on all of the listings. So whether it's going to be closed on a certain holiday, what the hours are. So that's very important to keep the address and whether you're closed at a certain date or time. And on our primary listing, we've got over 12,000 views in the past 28 days on that listing.
Wow. I love how you answered the questions here too on your listing. The question is, what's the fee for the commitment plan to Turo? And then, hi, and then she used the first name and said, there's absolutely no fees for the commitment plan. It's completely free. You receive many advantages when you get any, and she goes on and shares more information. So I love how you've done that and optimized your questions and answers as well.
Yeah, so I really feel like this is a really good tool for other resellers to use. Like it's really very quite simple to use and you are given all the insights there and you can interact with your customers very, very well. Just keep your information updated, post simply about your business and you will see your rankings improve in Google. And I'm very excited for you to do this.
Should I go to the next one?
I'm pretty much done, but
Well, this is
yeah,
an example of one of your posts. So maybe,
yeah.
yeah, so this was what you were talking about where you, Maritime Fuels is a family-owned operated. So again, this is a post from 6 days ago. So when I searched for Maritime Fuels, this not only did the listing come up, but when I toggled over the listing, this came up as well. And then I can see all of your posts.
hmm Yeah, so the first part of it is my description of the business. So make sure you have a really, really optimized description of it. And then also have a catchy post that people are going to see. It's not only going to show up in the map, but it's going to show up in the search. Like so when people search for your business, it's going to show up there too.
Perfect. And then when I scroll down, these are all of your beautiful reviews.
hmm
And so again, these really help with your SEO, especially when you're engaging with your reviews. Okay, so I think I'm going to say thank you very much, but I'm going to go back. Alexa or Janelle, did you want to share anything else before I go look at the chats?
I think I had a couple comments. Just we'll give the folks on the line some time to think of some questions and put them in the chat. But
Okay,
I know for me, I think the Google listing is really important and help keeping us relevant. Right? There's so much going on in terms of the internet and in terms of the web that this is one easy, low-hanging fruit for us to do that's
hmm
relatively inexpensive and even outperforms, something like Google Ads, which can become very complex and very expensive. I think in the other sense, for this is really good for our customers' convenience, being able to easily find and easily locate the information that they need, and really, really help them in that user experience and their journey through looking for a reseller. The one last comment I had was in regard to adding events onto
events,
the Google
yes.
listing as well. Like yeah, like Sophie said, community events, things like that. But I was thinking even bigger picture. Are there local hockey teams that we support in the
Oh,
community? Do they have
fabulous
an
idea.
upcoming game? Are we going to be there? Right? Like there's there's a lot of opportunity for us to collaborate, share all the great stuff that we're doing through a platform like this. So I think there's a lot of great value in this platform, and hopefully this helps alleviate some of the concerns. I know Google seems like this big bad beast, and I think it's a really helpful tool, just as Alexa had said. So those are
Definitely.
my thoughts, and
I think when you
I don't know
what
if you
hap
have any
what
questions.
happens often is because of the word optimized scares people. But when you look at,
Yeah.
and I think that's what you just need to think, what does optimize really mean? It just means you're using keywords that people might be searching for your company and the answers that they might be looking for on Google. But you need to sound like a human versus a robot, like Alexa said. And I just love how
Mhm.
you do it. You're very friendly, but you're to the point as far as, you've got your keywords in here, your family run and owned, which is very friendly. And you're talking about fuel and lubricant supplier, proudly serving the
Mhm.
maritime, delivering excellence with high quality SO products. I mean, how many more keywords and how friendly can so it's,
And so people want to do it in a way that, it sounds like a conversation almost, like you're telling somebody something, but you're using long tail keywords. So you're using something somebody might search for, voice search, like you said, or something like that. But you're just chopping it up, because I've seen a lot of people do just single words, and so
mm.
we want to get away from that and just do, full sentences. So it's very simple. We can all do it, and and I think it's very beneficial.
Well, I love the one you have here too, the post where it's free oil heating service question mark. That's just one of the advantages of our commitment plan. So, and I bet you have a link to the commitment plan if I was to look at
Yeah.
this. And then what that does is because you're linking back from Google to your website to the page that's also using those same keywords, guess what that does to the ranking of your website? It increases it. So it's the equation. When you always think about it like that, if you remember back to some of the workshops we've done together, it's just an equation. If your social uh, post uses some keywords that link back to a page that uses those keywords, now that you're able to post on your Google listing using that same philosophy, it's even stronger in helping your SEO. Very strong. And we suggest in our company that you post to it once a week. Let's go see if there's any questions. Questions. Let's see, chat. Any questions that anybody would like to share? How do you get reviews? Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you, Marie. You know what? That's something I forgot to talk about. So one of the new videos I'll be creating shortly is how to get um, there's a link that your Google listing produces, which is unique to you, and you can take that link and ask people to give you a Google review. So what you can do is you can take that link, and this is what my little video will show you, is where to find the link. And then what some of my clients have been doing recently is they have been texting that link to their clients because they use text in relationships now in building to their clients. So they're actually using the text to speak to them, or they'll say, hey, the client's saying, that was great. Thank you so much for saving us, or thank you so much for coming out in the snowstorm. And the person says, well, do you mind if I just send you a quick text right now with our link to our Google review? And they are able to click on that right away and add the review, which is kind of cool. Another thing I have seen people do is take that same link and include it in emails to clients, and then they can click on that and do the review. But I'd like to ask some of you, especially some of you who have some beautiful long reviews, a long list of reviews, how have you gotten the reviews?
So what we specifically do, Sophie, is just ask people. So if we have a good interaction, like our salespeople have a good interaction with a client, they just simply ask them, say, "Would you mind leaving a review, a positive, or like a review, like any kind of review on our Facebook or our Google?" And then so that's how it, usually gets carried out.
That's perfect. And that's one of the
Mm.
things is a lot of times we forget to ask those questions. So don't forget to ask. And the sending the link is something that felt because I'm Canadian, I don't know what it is, but I just felt that was a bit bold and too forward. And but I'm
Yeah, it's a little more organic this way, just
yeah,
asking.
yeah. So it's two different, real, approaches. But I was interested to hear that there were some people that were actually doing that and they were finding success, but they must do it in a way that doesn't sound too not promiscuous, too, oh, well, maybe that would be okay, but it doesn't sound like they're being too pushy. That was a good question. Thank you, Marie. Let's just scroll down to see if there are any other questions. For me, the big aha was how effective it's been. And I use Google Ads, Google Listings, newspaper, radio, television, and social media for my largest clients. And we do all of it for them and manage it. And what shocked the heck out of us was when we did our 2019 review as to the impact that every single media had, our Google listing was number one. As far as sending people to our site. And what we had started doing about a few months into the year of 2019 was posting from some of them once a month and other ones that are a little more busy once a week to their Google listing. Well, first we optimized it. Then we made sure that we had a notification coming to us so we could actually reply to the reviews using the approach I suggested. And then we started posting once a week. And what a difference that made. It really increased our SEO. And a lot of these industries were one's an electronics store. And all of their peers are having a hard time with this online world, but they're still doing well. They're still really, and I believe it's our Google listing that's really helped us. Any other thoughts or questions?
I I don't think it should be on the email signature. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
that
Sophie,
would,
we just got another question from Marie.
I
Marie, you
I
were
think that
perfect. You keep on asking
I
questions. Good for
I
you.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it should be more situational, like if they have a good experience, or because you don't want to get people just leaving, arbitrary reviews on your page. You just want to, have it for the people who are doing a solid, good job. Like you don't want
That's a good
to
question
have
and a great response because you're right, Alexa. When you think about it, it's almost strategic as to who you're asking to give you a review. It's those that have just had something really positive and you're hoping they're going to talk about that. And
it.
otherwise, I don't actually look very often at the signature of people unless I need to get in touch with them. So I don't know if people would even notice it there, so it's interesting. Yes, and so Marie, just like Alexa said, you probably want to target those people so that it's the experience talks to itself.
Great. Well, I guess we'll give everyone about 7 minutes back into their day. Just wanted
Yay!
to thank Alexa once again for helping pull this presentation together and help show us, the success in something as simple as a Google listing. So thank
Oh,
you,
you're
everyone.
welcome.
So what
Yeah,
is the
thanks,
next one? Do
Alexa.
we know what our next topic is?
Maybe
Uh,
maybe let's keep that a secret for a couple more
Oh, it's
days
a
and
oh,
secret.
I was
build
gonna
some
spill the
suspense.
beans.
Oh, I
I'm
was almost
sorry.
going to spill it too. Oh my goodness. Keep it a secret.
We've
Alexa, do
we
you think we can keep it a secret? I don't know. Hey Alexa.
No.
Hey Alexa, what's the next topic? She is like programmed to answer.
we've got to build a little bit of suspense
Okay,
here.
okay.
So
Okay, okay.
we'll see if any comments come in. And like we've said time and time again, if you have requests for any of our future topics or future conversations, let us know. We'd be happy to address them. But otherwise, have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next month.
Perfect. See you
Bye,
guys. Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.